Hi everybody and welcome back. In this episode we're going to be using two-part epoxy to try to do some body work on that Dean EVO XM guitar. If you haven't already, please click the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification button. That way not only are you helping me, but it's also helping yourself so that you can see my future videos. Because once I'm done with this guitar, there's always going to be another project, and if you're interested in this project, you'll probably be interested in my future projects. So, without any further ado, here we go. Okay everybody, so today we're going to try to work on patching up this guitar body. A few things that I figured I would need. Loctite repair putty. It's basically a two-part epoxy putty. Doesn't need to be Loctite brand. To tell you the truth, I've never used this before, but I have tried to use like fiberglass filler and whatnot when I was a teen to try to fix guitars, and it just seemed like a big hassle, especially like these type of, of curves or little spines, whatever you want to call them. I was partial to the BC Rich Warlock of the mid-90s. And I would get a couple of them that would be in pretty rough shape, and I would have to use fiberglass filler on them, and they wouldn't always be the easiest to work with. So I also grabbed one of these. It's just one of those key fobs that you get. It's like a point saver type of deal. I'm going to try to use that as a scraper because on the back here there are a couple of small divots that I want to try to use a little bit of putty and then use this to kind of force it in. Once again, I've never tried it before, so we are going to see what's going to happen. I need something to punch out the back of this real quick. Use a screwdriver. So the way that this epoxy works is it's in this tube and it's like putty. So it's like a cylinder of putty. And in the center of the cylinder is the hardener. So basically what you do is you pinch off a piece and then kind of knead it around in your fingers, and it says it's about a 5-minute work time. Oh no, 15-minute work time. So we've got a 15-minute work time to try to take this and remake this spine right here. I'm hoping that we can get it pretty close. For me, you may not need them, but I do. Glasses, so I can kind of see. They're just like reading glasses, but they're nice because they magnify, so I'm able to kind of see better. So it looks like what I need to do is I need to shape it on two axes here. We're going to have this one, this vertical, so I guess the y-axis. We got to bring it up and build it up. And then we have it here on the x-axis. We got to kind of make it curve out a little bit. And then on the z-axis, there's some thickness to it. So once again, this is my first time using this stuff, so I have no idea how it's going to work, if it's going to work great, if it's going to work not so great. But I guess we'll see. So pretty much you're just supposed to peel this, and I think this is actually a cap that they put on. Yeah, because the hardener is actually here in the middle. Now the video that I watched, they used it with their bare hands and just kind of kneaded it and then put it on. Oh yeah, it definitely smells like the regular two-part epoxy that you would mix up with toothpicks. So I'm just going to try to pinch off a little bit of this. And then they say to knead it. We'll see if it gets warm like regular epoxy, because that's what I was wondering about this putty. Is it going to get so warm in your hand that you're not going to be able to knead it anymore? Because I know that regular epoxy gets kind of hot, or at least in my opinion it does. Maybe I'm not mixing it right. Maybe I'm putting too much of something in it to give it too much of a reaction. But so they basically say to just knead this in your fingers until, you know, the blue kind of disappears and the whole thing turns into like a really light gray. So, and I'm getting a little bit on my fingers, I can see that, so I'm not so sure that that video was correct in saying that you could use it with your bare hands. And this is probably even more than I'm going to need for this application here. But so what we're going to do is we're going to try to, looks like I only need about half of it. I'm going to try to pretend that this is still here. And I'm trying to push in, I'm not just laying it on top, because where it broke, there's rough spots. And I'm hoping, you know, where you can see that raw grain, and I'm hoping that that'll help to act as an anchor point. I can see that I need a little bit more to build up here to make it straight. And this can be sanded, and it can be painted. So I tried to do my research as far as all that was concerned. I think I might need a little bit more on the top. I'd rather put a little bit too much on it than not enough, because I can always sand it down. And I'm afraid that even though it says that this stuff will stick to itself, even when dry, if I don't have to chance it, just kind of using this as for reference here, so maybe I can kind of push that out a little bit. So far it's still very pliable, very, very pliable. Now I also have a nick right here on this spine. You can probably see it from an earlier video. And once again, I'm going to see if I just can't use a little bit of this and just kind of pop it in there. Maybe even only half that size. This doesn't seem to be working quite as well as the other side. I think it's just because I'm dealing with so small of a piece. There we go. That helped it out. And once again, I'd rather have a little bit too much than not enough. Try to form this the best I can here. It's going to be a little bit of sanding involved here, because I am making up pretty good portion. And like I said, I've never tried this stuff before, so I have no idea. I'm going to try to feather it a little bit, just because I think when we get to sanding, it'll have less of a chance of breaking off the whole piece if I feather it. Save me a little bit of time too. And I can't complain there, because less time I have to spend molding this and shaping it, the more time I can spend doing other things with it. So actually, that doesn't look half bad. I'm trying to pinch it so that I can give that flat, there's kind of like a flat edge almost. And I'm trying to make it to where that edge at least matches a little bit. Trying to. Stuff, like I said, it isn't the easiest to work with, but it's definitely not bad. I can leave a link in the description, or in the description section, that will show where I got this. I got it from Amazon. It was like $6. So that doesn't look half bad there. So before this stuff gets too bad, I'm going to try to use an itsy bitsy piece here. I mean, just a very minute piece and see how this slides in here, if it even does. Oh, looky there. Oh. Filled into that spot pretty good. We're gonna do the same with this one. Oop, if I can get this stuff in there. Just kind of pop it in. And then just try to mush it in there. And hopefully, well, that one didn't do so good. Let's try to reapply that one. That first one did really well. I didn't have it in there good enough. Push it in really good. And then just kind of try to skim it. There we go. There we go. That's a lot better. And I believe there's one up here. No. I don't know necessarily that that is one. It's not really breaking off inside of it like the other ones did. So that looks pretty good for the front here. Trying to look all around the sides just to see if there's any big gouges. And right now I don't see any. I'm gonna kind of look at this and see. There's a little bit of a taper. I want to try to get that taper in there. At least the start of it. Like I said, it'll be less sanding then. Let's look at the front. Front looks pretty good. I don't feel anything of any consequence here. Well, it feels pretty good. The edges look pretty good. I mean, I'm not really seeing anything else, so hopefully this will do it what we want it to do. We're going to leave this dry, and then I'll come back and I will sand it. But for right now, I'll probably give it a good 24 hours to cure. Probably takes less time, but I figure if I'm sanding all the way through it, or at least sanding part way into the end of that spine, I don't want to meet up with any mushy surprises. Then I'm going to try to put this stuff halfway together here to where I might be able to still use some of that at a later time. See how well this works out, and who knows, maybe this will be my go-to stuff here. So then I think I'll take the rest off of here before it hardens off of my little card so I can use it to get my discount. I don't know. Hey, why don't you write in the comments section if you're watching this, do you have a Kroger's in your area? I know Kroger's is kind of, I think, a regional sort of thing, chain. So yeah, just write in the comments. I'd be interested to see. So that should be it for right now. Next time, well, maybe one little piece there. Ooh, and this stuff's really starting to harden now. I don't know. I might not get a piece out. Maybe this one. Let's see if this... No. I think that'll be alright though. I think that'll fill in with the sandable primer. Anyhow, thanks guys. Stay tuned for the next one after it dries. Well, thanks for watching everyone. I have to let that epoxy dry for about 24 hours before I start sanding, and I will be making another video for that as well. I know I keep saying it, but if you like this content, please click the like, click the subscribe, and click the notification bell. Feel free to share any of these videos on social media or to any of your friends who you think may be interested or just may benefit from watching it. I also wanted to talk about something too. I'm wearing a Live United shirt because I volunteered with United Way packing backpacks. And I would just like to tell anyone who has not volunteered before or in a while, You guys really should. There are a lot of great organizations doing a lot of good for a lot of kids that could just use help for an hour or 2 hours once or twice a year. I do it just because it's nice to know that you're helping someone out. You're kind of giving back by being able to provide. In this case, this specific event was we were packing backpacks for underprivileged kids who wouldn't be able to have the financial resources to have school supplies any other way. So we ended up packing, I want to say, right around 600 backpacks in about 90 minutes to 2 hours. So keep that in mind, guys. Go on United Way's website or your local charity or charitable organization and see if you can do some volunteer work. It really is great. So I will be seeing you later, hopefully yet this weekend, when I start sanding down this epoxy, and we'll see if it's what it was cracked up to be. Thanks for viewing, guys.